Good day. How are you? Amazing. Coo, 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 coo. The little baby sounds in the back. Today, I'm going to take you on my journey of things you need and don't need, and all about new baby stuff. And I'm going to be driving, so it's going to be a lot of background sound. But stay with me, and I'll be right there. Hold on. Here we go. Welcome back. Lucky me, I just came back, so I spare you the driving sounds, but you will have baby sounds, of course. And my goal today is to really give you a gift of knowledge. Now, a lot of people have babies, and it's the funniest thing, not having the baby, but when I talk to friends and I don't know how I was when I had my first baby, but when I talk to friends and they're like, oh, I'm going to give birth soon, I'm packing my baby bag. I'm like, oh, it's great. It's great news. What are you packing? And they're like, oh, I'm bringing perfume. I'm bringing my blender. I'm like, your blender? Yeah, I have a to-go smoothie I have every morning. I'm like, oh, okay, what else? I'm bringing my blow dry. I'm like, whoa. My exercise ball, my yoga mat. I'm like, whoa. First, whoa. You know, I gotta say something. I'm like, you don't need any of that. You don't need all of that, none of that in between. There's gonna be no time. I need to bring my focus animal. What you focusing on the animal? Oh my God, what's going on? What is going on? I remember, we're gonna take you back. I remember when I had my first baby, I was at home, and all of a sudden I woke up, and there was water all over the bed. At first thought, at the time I had 2 dogs. I don't have them anymore, God rest their souls. But I thought, did one of these dogs pee in this bed? What the heck? And then I thought, did I pee in myself? So I get up, I go to the bathroom, I go sit in the toilet, and I'm leaking everywhere. And I'm like, what is going on? Remind you, it's my first baby. And I'm like, what is going on? So I call my husband. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. I think my water broke. I'm leaking everywhere. And this is funny because, Google exists. But back then, I wasn't in that Google frame of mind. I'm a Google frame of mind nowadays. But back then, I was like, I don't know what's going on. And so he's like, all right, calm down. I'm coming to get you. So he comes to the house, and I'm butt naked on the toilet, leaking. And he's like, why are you naked? And I'm laughing because I'm like, I don't know what to do. And he's like, we gotta go to the hospital. So literally, he wrapped me in towels and a pajama, and we went to the hospital. I didn't bring anything. We went to the hospital, and the doctors were like, why are you two so happy? Literally, while we were in the room, I'm using the little equipment there, looking inside my husband's ears, flashing the eyes, checking his heart pressure, super silly, excited young people. This is exactly what we would do when I was 26 in my early years, and just having so much fun. And they were like, why are you so happy? And we were like, we're happy because we're having a baby. And it was so funny. Even now thinking about it, it makes me crack up. And I had nothing. I said, if I ever have a baby again, I'm gonna pack for my baby, because I wasn't prepared. And then we had the baby. Of course, my husband went and got stuff I needed. We came home, and the rest is history. Baby number 2, baby number 3, here comes baby number 4. I already knew what to pack. First and foremost, a lot of people buy these fancy schmancy baby bags. Do not waste your money on a fancy bag. The fancy bag, I do say waste your money. I bought a bog bag. And yes, I'm dropping labels today. Folks, a bog bag. Why? Babies spit up, they vomit, they poop. They're not the best roommate, if you get my drift. They constantly make little messes, crumbs, spillages. A bog bag is like a crock, which are my favorites. And in the bog bag, you throw everything in there, you rinse the bag, it's another day. What else did I get? In my bog bag, I put this little baby bag, which says baby. Got it from Temu. I know, don't make fun of me, don't kill me, did get it from there. And it says baby on it. What does it have in there? It has wipes, diapers, and diaper rash ointment. That's it. Because I'm about to have a baby. That's it. Then I have a changing pad table that's in that bag, and 1 or 2 outfits for the baby. An outfit to go home in, and if the baby spits up, an outfit to change. A basic receiving blanket, nothing fancy, because it's going to be pooped on, right? It doesn't have to be the best linens. And that's pretty much it. But what is the baby's outfit? Yeah, a hat, mittens and socks, a bottom and a top, and a pajama and a onesie, basically. That's all it's in there. Why am I so basic? Well, I didn't even tell you what I packed for myself. I packed regular, everyday, a brush, baby shampoo for myself, and that's pretty much, and a pair of jogging pants or sweatpants and a shirt. Why? Oh, and a nursing bra. I didn't really pack underwear. I'll get into that in a minute. When you have a baby, it's not like you're going to a resort or a hotel. You don't need everything you think you're going to need. You really don't. You need basic stuff. You need stuff to go home in. Because when you have that baby, the first thing you're going to do when you go to the hospital is they're going to tell you to take off all your clothes, jewelry, whatever. For those that wear all their jewelry, makeup, I don't know what you're thinking. But they say take it off. Now you take it off. Now you're butt naked in a hospital gown with your fanny open. Fanny's out in the back. Everyone can see your fanny. Okay? And what are you doing while you're there? Drinking water and peeing until you have that baby. Now, some of you are on pain relief and all these things. Me, I don't get epidurals and pain relief. I'm a strong woman. No, I'm kidding. I have back surgery, so I can't get epidural. So I'm basically just drinking water and peeing, which is good because you got to stay hydrated. And that's all you're doing. Like flicking through TV, waiting and waiting. Maybe it's lunchtime, maybe it's not. Waiting because you have to have your contractions a certain amount and you have to be dilated. There's nothing else for you to do. Maybe you're looking at your phone, bring your recharger. There's nothing else for you to do. Now, the moment the action happens, the action of your contractions, everyone's getting nervous. They're constantly running in the room, checking on you, right? And then when that moment occurs, it is now the time. It is showtime. You've been rehearsing for 9 months. You are ready to go. Lights, camera, action. Everybody's coming in the room. Everyone's gonna see your private business. This is no time to be modest or shy. And what they do is, the modern hospital, if they're a good hospital, they say, hey, if your contractions are almost there, why don't you jump on this ball? So they give you an exercise ball that you bounce on. This was the funniest thing to me because all my other pregnancies didn't have this. So I'm jumping on this ball. The back of my gown is open. They were like, do you want another gown to cover your butt? And I'm like, no. Listen, everyone's going to see it in a minute. Who cares? Enjoy the show free of charge. And I'm bouncing on the ball. And can I tell you what? I went to the bathroom and you're going to get the sensation. The sensation is poop. You feel like you have to poop. Once you get that sensation, do not poop. Because you will have that baby in the toilet. When you have the sensation of poop, you need to tell them, I feel the baby. That's it. I have to poop. And then they say, oh, don't poop, don't poop. And then you run to the table and you give it the old heave-ho, the old college try. And guess what? You have a baby. That's pretty much the math and the miracle and the science all in one. And the reading, if you don't mind. I like to say the 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic, as a joke. Okay, so that's what happens. That is exactly what happens. Now, anything else happens outside of that, like Flatiron, paparazzi, then you're a celebrity. And honestly, at this point, we all know we're not. So unless you are, if you're a celebrity listening to this, then this story doesn't match, but thank you for listening. So that's what happens. Now it's time to go home. So let's talk about the rigmarole of things you need to have in place. A lot of you don't have these things in place, and a lot of you have too much. Now, I had my first baby shower with my son, my first one, okay, over 15 years ago. And my husband was so excited. He rented a hall, invited everyone we ever knew, and it was really beautiful. It was a beautiful time. It was such an amazing baby shower. Then all of a sudden, God is good and glorious, I had baby number 2. And I had so much stuff from baby number 1. My sister and a good friend of mine threw a small baby shower in my friend's backyard. And it was lovely. And by the time I had baby number 3, another boy, I said, well, I am certainly not having a baby shower where people bring me things. I'm going to throw myself a baby shower. So I rented a hall, paid for everything, invited everyone, told everybody, bring diapers, that's it. Because diapers are expensive. Anyway, that's it, right? So that's what everybody did. And then I didn't think about it ever again. The number one smartest thing I ever did, I tell people this all the time. If you're newly married, if you got a new apartment, if you're planning an event, get a registry. Think about it. Nowadays, get a wish list. I tell my kids, put it on your wish list because I don't know if it's going to be granted. It's the smartest thing. Why make people buy you things that you're never going to use? If you're planning an event and you want something specific, your first baby will teach you a lesson. The first baby, you choose everything. I want organic. I want this. The second baby, third, you lucky if that baby has a clean diaper. I mean, let's be real, okay? So you get a registry. So with this baby, we moved far, far away. I didn't want to, impose. So I did a baby registry and I said, this is what we need. If you want to, not. If not, no problem. A lot of people did get us stuff in the registry and I'm so grateful for it. But the number one thing, even beyond the crib, right? The number one, because the crib was a blessing. Thank you, Mama. The number one thing is your car seat. You can go out and buy a car seat. Car seats cost between $200 to $300. My gift of knowledge to you is get the combo. Get the coche. What's a coche? A coche is a stroller and a car seat in one. Why? Because when you give birth, you cannot leave the hospital unless you show them that you have a car seat. Because there's no way you're walking home. If you don't have a car, you're taking a cab, you're going to need a car seat. They will not allow you to leave the hospital unless you have a car seat. It's very simple. Why, you ask? Because let's say you don't have a bed. Let's say you don't have a crib. Let's say you don't have a seat or a pot. Okay? My grandma would say a pot's up, pee in, right? That baby, if you put them in their car seat, they are safe. They are safe. They will nap. Their head will be protected. That's me patting my baby's back. They will honestly be okay. So you put them in the car seat, okay? Not that I have my kids in car seats, but that is the safest thing. The hospital will not allow you to leave it. I can't tell you how many times I have friends, for whatever reason, had babies and didn't buy a car seat. I'm like, you're serious? You didn't put in your registry. You're serious? What's going on? It's the smartest thing to do. Now, what else do you need? You're having a new baby? You better buy butt cream. Everybody swears to their brand. Buy your brand. Buy your brand. Make sure you have it. Make sure you have it on stock, folks. It's like chicken stock. I always have chicken stock in the freezer. You never know when you're gonna need it. Okay? Comes in handy. Same with butt paste. Now, my favorite brand, I'm not gonna get into it because everybody has their favorite brand. I have several, so I'm not gonna say it, but I will say the brands I use to help everyone. Desitin, Aquaphor, CeraVe, and butt paste. Those are the ones I swear by. But you buy what you buy. You buy what you buy. I think I forgot one. Oh, A&Z. Yep, I forgot one. Those are the ones I buy. And I'll tell you right now, I have them all. Why? Different strokes for different folks. Sometimes it's an Aquaphor day. Sometimes it's a A&D day. You just don't know. You look at, when you become a mother, after a while, you look at the rash and you're like, this doesn't call for Desitin. I think we need a little Aquaphor right there. That's what it is. Okay, you learn. Anywho, now, you're going to need diapers. So you're going to buy a box of diapers. If people gave you diapers, thank you. But what you want to do is if you come home with a big baby and you have newborn swaddlers, that only goes up to 13 pounds. So you want to think this through. If you have like 5 boxes of swaddlers, you're not going to need 5 boxes of swaddlers for that big baby. Okay? If you have a little baby, maybe. But you want to make sure, don't start opening up every box, putting all the diapers away. Don't. Slow down. You attach all the receipts and gift receipts to all those boxes. And you go, open them as you go. I know a lot of you want to have a beautiful little baby room. So put what you need out and put everything else in a closet. Why? Because diapers are expensive. Okay? They run between $20 to $40 a box. You're going to need maybe 1 to 2 boxes a week or more. So you do it that way because then if, for whatever reason, if it doesn't fit the baby, because you don't even waste your time opening the box. If you know what your baby weighs, and you will know because you have to go to all your doctor's appointments. So if you know your baby right now is at 14 pounds, that's a big baby. Don't open that swaddler box. Don't open that preemie box. Open the number 2. Get the size 2 box. That's what you're going to need. Right now, my baby's a size 1. Okay, she was born 6 pounds. And she was a little over 9 last visit. So she's good right now in her size 1s. And so we're good. We're good to go. The other day, I was in a pinch and I had to open up a size 2. It was just the one I grabbed and I opened it. And guess what? She was okay. She was okay. She's going to eventually be a size 2, so it was okay to open. We're not going to open the 3s. That's going to wait. Okay? That's going to wait. Now, and any of my friends who I love so much, they gave me toddler sizes. All my children, but don't mark my words, all my children were potty trained by the time they were 1.5. By 2, they were good. Like, I'm not trying to have my kid in a diaper when they're in college. You feel me? Okay, so anyway, you want to have diapers. What you want to do is have wipies. Wipies are so essential. Now, if you're like, I only want to use organic, like I make my own paper, I do my own water filtration system, go ahead and do it. Do it. Good luck. Good luck. The rest of us, buy whatever's on sale and get that wipey. Make sure they're sensitive, okay? Because you can say, well, I love it when my baby smells like ocean mist, and that's the scent I get my baby. The thing is, you don't know if your baby's going to be sensitive. For example, all my children always use lavender, Johnson's & Johnson's body wash, body lotion, body cream. All of them, right? But this little mama, I used that on her, and her skin was so sensitive, she got a little rash. So I said, oh no, what am I going to do? She's not going to smell like lavender. So guess what? My doctor recommended CeraVe. And to my oldest son who's listening to this, yes, you were right, because he uses CeraVe. It was great on her skin. And she had like baby acne, but we used it and it went away. Here's the other thing. Don't pick, if your baby has acne, don't pick it. Don't you pick that little thing on her face. It'll be a scar for life, okay? But anyway, so she washed with that. Here was the other thing. I breastfeed. I do. So I can't be putting like my perfume, all of this, my body wash, my creams, because when she breastfeeds, it's going to be right in her face and she'll get irritated. So what I do is whatever I use on my babies, I use on me in those areas until we're out of the sensitivity zone, okay? It's just some things to think about, some food for thought, okay? So I would definitely have that in stock. What I bring to the hospital, I travel light. So now we know our before, we know our pre-hospital, load the house up with the diapers you need, the wipes you need, some onesies. I always like to have a pajama. I like my kids to always have the 1-zip pajama with the foot and even the little hands that can turn into a mitten, because your baby's going to scratch themselves. And also, it just feels good when you feel like they're safe, because they're so wiggly and squishy. When you have like an all-in-one with the onesie underneath, you feel like they're solid. It's just the funniest thing. And I always like to put a hat, okay? The other thing I always make sure I have is baby oil, the mineral oil, because your baby might get cradle cap. It happens. They're growing new hair. It's nothing you did wrong. You constantly have to brush their hair and stimulate those follicles. If your baby does get cradle cap, it's very simple. You wash her in the shower, in the bath, or however you feel comfortable. When they come out, you do a nice little combing job, and you put a little baby mineral oil, and you just put a little cap. And guess what happens? The next day it's gone, usually. Now, if your baby has a really bad case, I'm going to tell you something that all of you may not like. You put a little breast milk on it. Sometimes there's a little bacteria that only your breast milk can kill, believe it or not. I mean, you may go to your doctor, your doctor may say, why are you listening to that podcaster? She's not a doctor. Right? But the truth is, I'm a mom of 4. Experience tells the tale, doesn't it? That's how we learn. And I'll be a doctor soon, because you all know I'm working on my PhD. So whatever, doctor. Okay, now with that said, so we know what to plan for the hospital, what to bring. We know now, pack light. I don't need to have my iPad with me. I don't need to have all these things. Now, trust me, I'm not saying anything against it. I'm an iPad user. I have a cell phone. I have an Android. I'm a mixture. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to bring a book, girl, you ain't have time to read, but bring it. Like, whatever it is you want to do, bring it if you want to bring it. But it's just going to be extra bags to carry, because when you have that little morsel of amazing child, it's going to be 100% focused on that baby. So honestly, things you think you need, you're not going to even want, because you're going to be like, I just want to be with my baby. Okay. Now, I want to also give you a little reality. When you're in the hospital and you have your baby, no one's going to say to you, Mom, do you need time to rest? We can take the baby from you and have our 24-hour babysitter. No one's going to do that. When you give birth to that baby is yours. So if you're like, oh my God, I'm going to need a nap. If you're not married, maybe your mom, a cousin, whoever is that trusted person, because you cannot be alone in that hospital. You need somebody there, okay? You need to be like, can you let me take a nap? Honestly, let me tell you, I gave birth to my baby. My husband was there. We had the baby, and I'll tell you that story because that was kind of funny. And what happened was they took the baby for a second just to do all the vitals. I took a quick nap, and they gave me back my baby. And then they said, we're going to let you sit with your baby skin to skin. We need you to do that. I'm like, okay. So I stood with my baby skin to skin, holding my baby, loving my baby. Then they took the baby, weighed her, sized her, did this, then the third, told me how amazing she is, facts. And then she said, yeah. And then I got her back. And then she's been with me ever since. Like, I had to, tell my husband, I'm going to take a nap, you take a nap. Let's keep an eye on the baby. There's really no, where are you going kind of energy. It's your baby, your responsibility. Okay? And she's like, that's right. Give me my milky. They know it. The other thing is, your baby can't smell you. Believe it or not. I walk in a room, my baby doesn't even see yet. Doesn't have the gift of vision yet, because all the baby sees is black and white. And she's like, where you going? To the bathroom. Come right back. That's her energy. I feel like my mom, I always say this, my mom had Marge Simpson's voice, and other people may differ, but Sophia from the Golden Girls energy. And so, I feel like that my baby's channeling that, because she'll be like, excuse you? Get over here, kind of energy. I think it's kind of funny. Really? What do you think? She's telling you, hold on. And then what happened? Tell your side of the story. It all started when? So the other thing is, you ever exercise and feel amazing, super happy? Or you're having a you moment, your nails are done, right? You're I'm so happy. That happiness that you're feeling comes from endorphins in your brain. So anytime your brain experiences something that's enjoyable, it gives you endorphins. I enjoyed that. I want to do it again. Now, you ever been super sad, or someone passed away, God forbid, or you hurt yourself and it hurt? You're ow, that pain you feel. That pain, you do not get endorphins. So your brain does not let you enjoy those moments. It's like a warning. Like when you touch fire, hot, hot. Those sensory notes, right? So when you have a baby, okay, and I'm going to say it in two different ways. When you are in labor, your brain starts telling you, okay, we're having a baby, time to pay attention, but you're happy. You feel great. This is an amazing thing. And you start getting endorphins, okay? Then you give birth, and you're giving birth, right? But guess what? Endorphins. It's okay. We're about to give life. Oh my goodness, my baby. Then baby comes out. My baby's here. Joy, happiness, sunshine, right? All that is endorphins. So 2 years later, you decide to have another baby. You look back and you're like, you know what? It wasn't that bad. I could have another baby. Because when you remember that moment, your brain filled you with endorphins and happiness. Okay, that is the ideal way, right? There's another way. The other way is some of us have a planned date pregnancy. Now, I've never had that with my other children. My last child before this baby, my beautiful son, they said, oh, we're going to induce you. You're going to come on this date. So geniuses put the induction date on the date I was due. So I didn't have that morning of enjoyment of, oh, I'm giving birth today. No. I'm going to the doctor. I have an appointment. It was so regiment that I had no endorphins. Because who has endorphins? You go to the doctor, you feel good about it? No. You feel like, I have an appointment. Someone's going to stick me in my butt. So I go, and I'm like, oh, an appointment. And then I'm there, and guess what? They're like, wait a second. You're already dilated. And they didn't realize they've already gave me Pitocin, which is giving me contractions. So now I'm miserable. I'm already about to have the baby. I'm dilated. There was so much pain. I screamed so hard. I experienced so much pain that I passed out, and the doctor said I flatlined. Uh-oh. My husband thought I was Ghana. That's what he thought. He was like, I thought you were Ghana. I thought you left me here with these kids. And so with that said, when I look back at that moment and I remember all the pain, because no endorphin was in my brain, Until I woke up the next day and they were like, you had your baby. I did? Oh, okay. Yeah, that was not a good experience. My poor little son, I love him so much. He was the best experience, and I have happiness since the day I think back about him being born. But I remember that moment. When I had my second son, I had all the endorphins, and then I had a seizure. So I was like, oh, right? So when I gave birth to him, it was kind of funny because I had a seizure, so I wasn't necessarily in pain. I was numb. But with my third baby, I remembered the pain. So now I'm pregnant with this last baby, and I'm like, oh no, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna have so much pain. I'm so scared. And I was so scared for like 9 months. I kept telling my husband, I don't know if I could do that. He's like, what are you talking about? This is your fourth baby. You'll be totally fine. All my doctors were like, why are you so nervous? I'm super happy. I'm excited. I feel all these emotions, but I'm nervous and scared about the pain. And my doctors are like, honestly, like, come on, this is your fourth kid. You'll be lucky if you hold that baby in, right? So he said, what we're going to do is we're going to have an induction, but we're going to do it a week before you're due because they were nervous about me having a seizure. And every time I have babies or my hormones, I have seizures, and they were just nervous about that. So I knew I was ahead of my schedule, but I still felt happy. I was just very alert. Like my endorphins did not kick in, I would say. I mean, you can't turn that on, but I was just very alert. I wasn't like in La La Land. And so we go to the hospital, and guess what? They treated me so amazing. I must say, my OBGYN and the hospital I gave birth in Florida are amazing places. I have given birth 3 times in New York City, and at that time I thought that was the best hospital until I came to Florida. Wow! I'm gonna give a shout out to Winnie Palmer. Wow, that's an amazing hospital. If you ever think of having a baby, go there. So that's where I went, and it was like a hotel, be our guest experience. And since I got there, like I had to go on my emergency visits and everything, they were just amazing. And my OBGYN was also super amazing. Super amazing. I love this doctor so much. And I do miss my other I had another OBGYN in New York. She was fabulous. But the hospital I gave birth in, they were good too. But you know, when you compare it to this last delivery, so I get to the hospital. I told you I was jumping on the ball. It was time to have the baby. My booty's in the air. They sit me on the table. They say, okay, mom, you're going to have to lift your legs up. We're going to have the baby. Because guess what? They gave me, to induce, they gave me Pitocin. But they gave me this other medicine right before the Pitocin that relaxed my my dilation. So, I mean, if I have pain, I have pain. I of course, I experience pain. Then you can do about the pain. But the difference with this one is they told me everything they were doing. I was so alert. And the other problem is I was telling my husband, I said, I don't know, we're getting closer. I'm getting scared. And all of a sudden, they were like, put your legs up. The baby's coming. I freaked out. And I grabbed my husband and said, oh my God, I'm so scared. I'm going to have the baby. I'm nervous. And then he was like, babe, the baby came out. I'm like, what? And the baby was out. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. They were like, you okay, mommy? I was like, yeah. They're like, did you have any pain? I was like, no. I feel amazing. I feel so amazing. They were like, really? And guess what? My endorphins, they kicked in. You don't have to tell me my endorphins kicked in. I already knew. I was on cloud 9 in La La Land with this little baby. When I saw her and I was holding her, I was so super happy. And I do not recall any pain in that fraction of a second when she came out. Nothing. I couldn't believe it. And I didn't have pain relief. I don't have endorphin. I don't have epidural. I don't get that because I had back surgery. So it was just me and my prayers to God. And my baby came out super healthy, super gorgeous, super amazing. I shocked myself on this one. I was like, Creator, thank you for this blessing. I'm in shock. Just so blessed. So why that makes me laugh? Because I was still in my hospital gown for the night. And then the next day they were like, you need to take a shower, Mom. So when I took a shower and they took care of the baby while I took my shower. And then I wore another pajama. I couldn't wear underwear because I'm bleeding, right? So everything that you would think that you would want, like the creature comforts that we want, you're not going to get that. Okay? You're not going to do that because you're in a hospital. So it's not going to happen. So, like, don't pack so heavy and make your husband or significant other carry all your bags. Like, there's no need. There's no need for all that. Now, the other thing I should tell you, I told my husband, with all my children, I always want one thing. Because when I have a pregnancy, I don't do a lot of things. When I'm pregnant, I will not get my nails done. I will not get my eyebrows done. I will not do my hair or get my hair done. I won't do anything that will physically threaten the baby. I don't drink. I don't take any caffeine. I really just don't do those things because anything like that in my system can harm my baby. Anything like that. And I don't want anything harming the baby inside of me at all. So I want to make sure that anything that could possibly harm the baby, I stay away from. It's very important to me. With that said, you know me, you know I like my coffee. So I tell my husband, please, the only thing I ask is when I give birth, pretty please, bring me a cup of coffee and a sesame seed bagel with bacon. Paris. And that's what he did. He got me that. That was pretty awesome. And then what did I do? I went home. When I get home, I assess the situation. What's going on? Am I breastfeeding? Am I supplementing? Things you need to know. Number one thing, you're not going to have any breast milk if you don't drink water. Sometimes people say, try this tea, try this. So there's some truth to that. Like some of the yeast, the brewer's yeast, some of those teas, I forgot the farukanakana, that ingredient. Oatmeal definitely helps you with some of your lactation. But if you don't drink water, regular, old-fashioned, H2O, you don't drink water, you will have no breast milk, nothing. So be smart and hydrate. Now, usually the hospital will give you like a little thing filled with ice. It's about like 30 ounces, something like that. You need about 90 ounces. 90 ounces. You hear that? The baby's breastfeeding right now. 90 ounces just to pay the bills of water. Okay? If you want to breastfeed. Now, some people say, well, the baby won't latch. But that milk is so important. And I'm not judging anyone. But if you got milk in your breast and you don't want to breastfeed, that's fine. Pump it out and give it to that baby. That golden luscious milk is the best. And some may say, well, I only want to supplement. I only want to do this. I hear you. I'm right here with you. I hear you. That's great. Do that. But in the meantime, whatever your body naturally produces, put it inside and give it to the baby. If you want to freeze it. All those things. It's just so good for the baby. And you'll be shocked. Like, I could see the difference. A long time ago, I had a friend, I think I might have mentioned this before in a story or two, that their baby was very sick. It was a foster baby, and they were going through a lot. And they didn't know what to do. And at the time, I was freezing my milk. I was pumping at work. And wow, this was 7 years ago, almost 8 years ago, more than that. And I was like, here, take these frozen bags of milk and give it to your baby. And they did. And the baby's skin cleared up. The baby's health got better. They were like, what is it? And I'm like, nothing. It's just breast milk. And they gave it to that baby, and that baby was great. People buy breast milk, believe it or not. It's very healthy. Now, personally, I have breast milk. I breastfed all my babies. I will breastfeed as long as I can. I will pump as much as I can. I want to make sure that my babies are healthy. Now, with that said, I also do supplement. I have to, because there are some things that the baby is starving, and sometimes you run out of milk, and there's nothing you can do. And even if you're drinking water and you're hydrated, your body needs time to produce more. So I do supplement. I supplement with whatever the hospital gives me, because your baby's stomach is super delicate. So you can't just keep switching brands. Some people do that. You can hurt the baby. You'll notice the baby will vomit everything because their stomach wasn't ready or was too sensitive for the milk. So what do? I just, whatever the hospital gives my baby, I'll start with that. And then if it's too much, I'll look for a gentler version, right? One of the things I like is the Enfamil rice-based one. That is the formula. So it's not the yellow can or the purple can. It's the red can. I like that can, that one or the purple one, but it's usually I breastfeed first. What I do is I breastfeed 15 minutes on each side until the baby is done. I flip them over. I do another 15 minutes on each side. When I see I'm like really have no more milk, but if the baby is still hungry, then I'll supplement. Other than that, sometimes I won't supplement at all. I prefer, if I'm with my baby all day, she has breast milk the whole day. That's what I try, and I stay on schedule. What's schedule? Well, schedule is very simple. If you're giving the baby formula, bought formula, every 2 ounces is an hour they sleep. So every 2 ounces, my baby's going to sleep for 1 hour, and then they'll need another 2 ounces. When their stomach gets bigger, you move to 4 ounces, then it's 2 hours of sleep. Now, you're not looking to put the baby to sleep the whole day. That's not why I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this because when you wake up, that's how much you have to give them. You have to know that math, okay? Well, if they slept for 6 hours, because for whatever reason they had a growth spurt or whatever it was, when they wake up, they're going to be hungry. So you just have to be aware of their feeding schedule. If you breastfeed and you're not knowing how much you're giving them, because if they're just naturally breastfeeding, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, they may sleep an hour. If you pump your milk and you know the exact ounces, 2 ounces, they're only going to sleep for half an hour. 4 ounces, an hour. Because breast milk isn't made like formula. Breast milk has the nutrients, the enzymes, the bacteria the baby needs. It's not to just fill them up. Whereas the formula has those nutrients, but it fills them up. So you really want to understand the differences, okay? Understand that. Now, if you're sick and you give the baby breast milk, chances are you gave the baby immunity to getting sick. It's kind of interesting that way. So you really want to think about those things. The other thing I like to say is I like nuts. I like fruit. I like all those things. Whatever I eat, my body builds cells in the breast milk that when the baby eats, the baby understands the cells, dynamics, chemistry, lineup. So when the baby goes to one day, when they're older, eat those things, they're more accepting of eating it. Now, if I say, I hate eating peanuts, I'm never going to eat it. Bad example, but I'm using it. So I never eat it. And now I don't let my baby won't have it in the breast milk. The baby can have a reaction. Just understand the differences. So when I'm pregnant, especially when I'm pregnant, I like to eat a lot of different things. I try. And when I'm breastfeeding, I like to eat things that I know the baby might eat or might need. Let's say your baby's gassy, colicky, or like constipated. And somebody will say, why don't you give them scallion tea, oregano tea, chamomile? Everybody has a remedy. You do not give that to your baby until it is the correct stage of your baby's milestone. So if your doctor's like, you're not starting that until they're 6 months or a year, it could be the most natural thing, carrots, anything. Do not give them that because there's other things that you can take like niacin, vitamin D, those things, but do not give them that particular natural tea or whatever it is until that stage, because you can get your baby super sick. And guess what? If you go to the hospital and your baby's super sick because you gave them something you weren't supposed to, you're responsible and you can have your baby taken away from you. So be smart. Don't just say, well, I'm going to give this to my baby. I know it's right. No, don't do it. Don't fall for it. Follow the way that your doctor recommends, right? Some of you are like, well, I don't want to listen to my doctor. Trust me. Follow what they recommend, okay? Now, my baby, it's been almost 8 weeks completely, and she's super happy and healthy. Is there anything that I think she needs? No. Some suggestions. When I wake up in the morning, I make it routine. So when we wake up, like we're officially up, usually that's 3 o'clock in the morning, I do her feeding. And then what I'll do is, if she goes back to sleep, then I utilize the time that she's asleep. And I do things that I need to do and get ready for the house. Sometimes it's wake up my kids by 5 or whatever it is. When it's time for her to get up, I put her in her little chair. She has a little chair for her age, 0 to 6 months. That's the chair she sits in. And she'll sit there for like a couple minutes. Never, ever do I put her in that chair for more than 2 minutes. So it's like 2 minutes, right? And she's right next to me. So if I need to, quickly do something, if I'm tying my other son's shoe, whatever it is, she's right there. But that's just part of her routine. Then I take her out of there. And the other thing is, your baby cannot be laying on their back all day, held all day. You have to kind of motivate routines and rotate routines. Motivating meaning motivating her leg movement, her arm movement, so she can pass gas. She has to lay down. She has to sit up. She has to learn to go on her belly. Those things are very important because when she's a little bit older, once she holds her head up, I put her in something called a bumbo. That's usually when she's 6 months old. Or I put her in her bouncer at 6 months old because her head is stable. And just because she's 6 months, her head might not be stable. She's only almost 8 weeks right now, so we have to wait for that. Those are different stages. But once that happens, once I put her in her bumbo, her head is good, her neck is strong, it starts building her strong back, and then that gives her solid foundation. Once I put her in her bouncer, she gets solid legs, then she starts to walk. These are the stages, like, to think about, like, how do I want to promote this? But do I need this now? I don't need this now. I'm not in a rush to buy this now. So I want you to understand, focus on their baby stages. Focus on how you feel. You should be happy. There should be happy moments, feeling good. Some of you may be sad. Some of you may be depressed. I would suggest talk to my doctor about that. Figure out what's going on. Are things not at expectation? Don't sit with that alone, because when you are sad or depressed, you may neglect some of your baby's needs. So think about that. Those are things to pack, having open dialogue. With that said, I think she's going to take a nap. And you know what? I think I'm going to take a nap. And I appreciate you staying on this journey. I don't want to say what to expect when you're not expecting, but if you can, get that book. That was an amazing book. I read that when I was pregnant with my first one. And I also registered on babycenter.com. Love that, Baby Center, because you put your baby's information and you always know what's going on, really informed. And all my kids have been in Baby Center since they were born. So for the past 15 plus years. If you need anything, you can reach out to me too. But feel good, enjoy your journey, and bye now. Bye-bye.